Hey everyone, welcome back, and I am truly excited for today's video. I'm going to be walking you through a site that I've been tracking, which has absolutely blown through the Google updates. It's completely disproved the idea that SEO is dead, especially in the age of AI. They've gotten thousands of AI citations, as you can see in the top left-hand corner of the screen. And the beauty of it is that this can work for any site, any niche. This is current. They're getting 400,000 organic traffic every single month. They've been growing through the Google updates while everybody else has been, freaking out and dooming and glooming with all the clickbait that you see on YouTube about SEO is dead. It's been dead for 15 years. I don't know how you die every year for 15 years. My understanding is you can only die once, but that's just the clickbait nature of the industry. But this is going to be truly exciting because not only am I going to reveal this site, I'm going to walk you through exactly how they did it and exactly how you can learn how to set up your site. And this is going to work for anybody in any niche. It'll work for affiliate SEO, for any SEO website in general, agencies, maybe you're offering SEO services or any kind of digital marketing services, YouTube channels as well, if you want to get traffic to your YouTube videos. If you've got a Skool community or group, this will work fantastic for you. You can set up a site and drive traffic to your Skool community. If you're on OfferLab, which is basically the ClickBank killer affiliate marketplace, you can set up super funnels and drive traffic to those. If you're in the e-commerce Shopify space, this will work there as well. If you've got a directory that you're trying to drive traffic to, absolutely this can work. And finally, if you've got a consulting business and you're offering any kind of consulting services, this will work fantastic for you as well, as long as you have a website. So with that being said, just a quick intro on myself. My name is Lewis. I'm an SEO strategist. I've worked with all kinds of clients over the years, everywhere from local to multi-million-dollar companies in the national and global space, industrial manufacturing, health, SaaS, tech, software, you name it. I've actually even consulted with an ex-Google engineer and helped him set up his site for the new business that he's starting up, providing AI solutions to businesses. So very well experienced with this. I've got my own sites, my own tools, my own business as well that I drive traffic to. So it's just beautiful to see a site do exactly what I recommend to clients. And this is probably the best example of a perfect website that I have ever seen in all my time in SEO. So I'm very excited to share this. I'm going to reveal the site. I'm going to walk you through the general overview, and then I'm going to take you through piece by piece what they've done, how they've done it, how you can replicate it. And then you've got a perfect model for how you can do SEO for your own sites and your own business and your own products. Because what we're finding today is that everybody's either dooming and glooming, saying SEO is dead, which is not true, or they're just showing, screenshots. This is my Google Search Console. I've increased this traffic. This is how you set up a website starting off. But nobody's actually walking you through an example of a successful website. Maybe they've got their reasons. They don't show their sites, or they don't want to reveal their clients. Perfectly understandable. I don't do that either. But this is an example of a site that's doing fantastically well. I'm going to link it below in the description, and you can take a look through the site itself and model it for your own business and your own site, and you should be successful because there's no reason you can't be. These guys started off only a few years ago. They started growing very quickly, and I'm going to reveal the strategy as to how they did it. So let's get into it. Okay, so you can see that they're doing fantastically well, right? This is their traffic over the last 5 years. I'd say they started somewhere around 2022. They started getting some traction, and then 2023 they really exploded, and they started getting 10,000 traffic, and it just starts growing and growing from there. Looks like they got hit by one of the Google updates, but they fantastically rebounded. Not only did they rebound, but they got a heck of a lot more traffic than they had, double the traffic they had at their highest point in 2024. So can you be successful? Can you recover? Yes, absolutely. Only if you do proper SEO. So that's what we're going to walk through today. As you can see here, they're ranking for 21,000 keywords. Losing those keywords, I wouldn't worry about that too much. There's a lot of fluctuation that goes on with Google updates. What matters is, do you have the most important keywords for your business? And they do. They've got top rankings. They've got 400,000 search traffic every single month. And you can see here in the AI citations, they've got 2.6K volume through AI overviews and 2.5K citations through ChatGPT, let alone Perplexity, Gemini, Copilot, and I'm sure other AI models as well. So these guys are doing fantastically well. I'm going to reveal the site right now. It is NapLab, naplab.com. Again, I'll drop it in the description below, but you can just go to naplab.com, check them out. They basically are a review site for luxury mattresses. Very tough niche to break into, to be honest. Not sure this would be my first, selection if I were getting into a niche. But these guys have a lot of passion, and they've done a fantastic job on the content. And I'm going to walk you through how they did what they did, and why it worked so well. So these guys really are passionate about mattresses. They really put their heart and soul into it. They don't just write articles; they go far above and beyond that. Um, but beyond that, they've just done a fantastic job. So naplab.com, you can kind of check out the home site. They've got tools, they've got a mattress quiz, they've got data-driven testing. So they actually provide you custom metrics and images that they take themselves to kind of complement the content. You can see here there's no paid content. Nobody paid us to review the mattress. They just review the mattress to the best of their ability. There are affiliate links on this, so that's how they make their money. Perfectly understandable. If people are interested in the mattresses after reading the review, they click through on the link, and these guys get a percentage or a commission. Perfectly understandable, and it's a great business model if it works well, which for these guys they do. I mean, they're making money hand over fist, especially with these luxury mattresses, which can go for quite a bit of money. And it's not just through Amazon; it's through other companies as well. So you can kind of review by type. They give you an overview of who they are. So this is very important for Google. You've got to let Google know that there's actually somebody behind the site and that it's not just a content farm that was thrown up. So it's a fantastic job on their part. They have that page. They make great use of YouTube. I'll touch on that in a minute. They've got different categories, which they link to, and situations, for your stomach and your back, so on and so forth. They've got guides, best mattresses for back pain. You can read the review. They kind of give you through. This is a great brand portal on the home page, and it's a portal to the rest of the site as well. Lots of internal links to all these pages that are obviously very important and that rank highly. They've got social proof, and they've got PR proof as well, where we're featured. Different logos. They probably did a PR release, a press release, and then put the logos here. Fantastic. That's an essential part of SEO and AI SEO in this day and age. They've got different guides and education, and then they link to all the pages down below. So this is really like a huge pillar page. And then they've got these quiz CTAs here as well, which obviously takes you through their quiz that I'm sure upsells to other products. So they've got an education section, they've got a mattress review section, they've got mattress comparisons, they've got the best mattress for different types of people and different types of firmness, features by type, all that kind of stuff. They've even got tools that you can use. This is just really a fantastic job. They've really poured their heart and soul into this. And the beauty of this is too that people kind of complain, especially from the UX and design perspective. Oh my God, this kind of giant mega navigation is too much. Google's not going to like it. The UX, and people are going to be confused. Obviously not true. Going back to the metrics, they're doing fantastically well. What this does is provide a great site architecture for Google to crawl through when it comes through organically. It can find all of these pages because they're all linked in the navigation. So just starting off from the basics, done fantastically well. Now what we're going to do, because they've seen, we've got this traffic here, but one of the things that I noticed is that they publish a lot of content. Where was I? Here we go. So you can see for organic pages, like if you compare, let's say January 2023, 218 pages. Let's go to January 2024. 489 pages. So they basically doubled their production, and you can see they keep growing, right? They keep adding content. These are all pages that get added to the site. As those pages get added, you get more rankings. I have a simple saying in SEO: more keywords, more rankings, more traffic. It's a little bit more complex than that, but that's definitely something that they've done. And the number one ranking factor for Google, even beyond domain authority, beyond backlinks, is topical authority. So they've demonstrated that topical authority to Google in terms of luxury mattresses or mattresses of any kind. And Google's rewarded them because not only do they have the quantity, but as I'll show in a bit, they have the quality as well, because they've optimized their pages very, very well. But they've increased their content production. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, I don't have the money to buy writers and to pay writers and to buy mattresses and test them out. There are ways around that. There are ways you can streamline your content production with AI and not get slapped by Google, not have it look like AI, garbage or slop, whatever you want to call it, and basically replicate this content production, because this is something that feeds the algorithm. Google can see that not only are they consistently generating content, they're demonstrating topical authority, which is the number one ranking factor by far. And that is both quantity and quality as well of the page. And that's optimization. And I'm going to go into that in a minute. But before we do that, just taking a quick look at their keywords. I wouldn't worry about this dip. This is just Google taking away the top 100 results. Unfortunately, there was a whole fiasco there. If you don't know, Google took away the ability for keyword tools to look at the top 100. We really only care about the top 10, top 20, really. So if I just take this off, top 10 is what drives your traffic, and you can see here they're growing there. That's what's really the most important. That's unaffected by Google taking away the top 100, and we can see their top 10 rankings and keywords are on the rise, which is all we care about, because that's what drives the traffic. That traffic is lower because of the AI overviews, but if you scale content production and topical authority, you can offset that, and it doesn't become a problem like these guys did here. So taking a look at their keyword rankings, they've got various keyword rankings. Best mattress for side sleepers, number 3. Best mattress for back pain, that alone is just moved up to position 2. It's a 26K volume keyword, and they literally get 7,000, almost 7,500 traffic just from this one page, which is truly amazing. Best mattress in a box, purple mattress review, best mattresses for heavy people. So they really were very strategic about how they went after these keywords. Great volume, great competition. You can see the intent is commercial, so people are ready to buy once they research these keywords. They've even got AI overviews, which is what this star is. So they've got a lot of great, fantastic rankings. And some of these they've moved up. This is position 19 around page 2. They jumped up 17 spots to position 2. So they're growing and growing and growing. They're capturing AI overviews. This one jumped 37 spots, organic mattress, fantastic intent. So that's commercial and transactional, meaning people are ready to buy or make a purchase. The keyword is quite competitive, but these guys have demonstrated that topical authority. So Google's going to reward them. Then they're going to jump 37 spots to position 5 like they did here. And there's reasons that they did that. We'll go into that in just a minute. So fantastic job on these guys' parts. They've got some Canadian rankings as well. There's a market there for sure. So there's a global market here. And as they grow these rankings, they just get more and more traffic, more and more topical authority, more and more links. Everything just compounds with interest over time and snowballs because they've done everything properly. Now, let's take a look at one of these pages here. So this is best mattress for back pain, one of the keyword rankings we just looked at. Great use of specifics. So the AIs are looking for specific numbers. They like to see percentages and stats and numbers. So great use of that in the title, but they have the main keyword in the H1. Now we have what I call the rule of 4. There's 4 places that you want to put your main keyword, and they've done a fantastic job with that because that's 60% of your SEO. So they've got their main keyword here, best mattress for back pain in the H1, which is the title right here. They've got it at least once in the content up near the top. They've got it in the meta title, best mattress for back pain, right there. That's the meta title. And then they've also got it in the URL. Those are the 4 main places that you put your keyword. And you can have copy like this in the H1, but you're signaling to Google what the main keyword is in the URL. This is probably the most powerful placement for a keyword. Google now knows this is the main keyword. This is the main keyword from the title. So fantastic job on their part. As we scroll down, they've got a featured image. Best practice is to put your main keyword in the alt text. But they've also got something right up top in terms of a CTA in case people are ready to buy or learn more about it. Their content is I'll just scroll through to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like at a glance. This is a lot of content, right? But really a fantastic job. This is just amazing. I'll scroll back up to the top. Let's kind of take a look through here. So they've got different internal links for other instances where people might want to have maybe they have different situations. Maybe, it's looking for heavy people, or a luxury mattress for heavy people, or with minimal sinkage. Like, if people are coming to this and this is too general, best mattress for back pain, they've got links to other more specific pages. Again, building that topical authority, but also building the site architecture. They've got those internal links to other pages. Everything is interlinked very well. And from a logical topical authority standpoint, they've got custom metrics here. So they give you the overall score as well as several links. They give you all the information. They've got a YouTube video embed, which is absolutely fantastic. This is a big part of SEO. And if I just click to, where am I? If I go to this video here, so you can see here, best mattress pain for back pain, or best mattress for back pain. This is the video that's embedded. And they kind of walk through it. It's a good solid video. You can check it out if you want. But when you scroll down, they've got various links to all their pages, jam-packed with links. All of these double as keywords because in the YouTube description box, it's like a notepad. There's no formatting, so YouTube's just looking for keywords and content. You don't have to worry really about, writing a full optimized article. They're not going to recognize that anyways. There's no headers or anything like that. So really what you want to do is just have a keyword-rich description, but also link out to, your pages and give them lots of options, because the actual click-through from these links to the website is a tremendously powerful signal to the website. Google loves to see that. Clicking from the YouTube video, which is a Google property, to the website, fantastic signal. So it doesn't matter which one of these they click. The fact that somebody just clicks on this, even if it's one or two or three people, is a great SEO signal for the site. Plus, it gets engagement for the video. They've got it pretty well optimized. There's some additional things they could have done, but it's pretty well optimized. And they've got that embedded within this page as well. They've got more information in terms of a drop-down. So this has information in it as well with the video. They've got individual people cited. Great quality images. These are custom images, custom videos that are also uploaded straight into the site. So it's got a mixture of that. They've got tables. All of this is structured data. So the AIs love crawling this because it's easy to crawl. And even if you look at their content, if I scroll down here to the content, like this is their verdict, right? Notice that it's not more than 3 or maybe 4 or 5 sentences. So they don't have huge blocks of text. They have short, concise, summarized sections and paragraphs. No more than 2 or 3 sentences, maybe 4 sentences. The AIs can crawl this, and these are called structural cues. The research has proven that if you structure your content like this, you'll get cited in ChatGPT, Perplexity, so on and so forth. I've even seen this with my own clients. So when I saw this, I thought they know exactly what they're doing. So fantastic job on that part as well. Great use of custom images. Google loves that. Stock photos are fine, but Google loves custom images. So really just really well optimized piece of content. Even as I scroll through, you can just look to see what they've done. Every section moves on down to the next. It's really scrollable and engaging. So it keeps people on page. I'm sure it helps with on-page time and UX and all that kind of stuff. But it's not a lot of content, right? And some people complain, oh, this white space on the sides. Obviously, it doesn't hurt them because they're getting the traffic. It's obviously converting. And really, it keeps people focused on what they're reading in the middle. And at the end of the day, people just want information about what the heck is the best mattress to buy. That's really all they care about. They don't care about the page design or anything like that. So just great content here, just to kind of give you an idea. I'll link this page in the description as well. But when I said they optimize well, it's not just some of the tips that I just gave. I literally scanned their page with a tool called Surfer SEO, where you can basically analyze the page's top keyword against the top 10 competitors, which is where, on page 1 of any keyword that you search, that's Google's blueprint. You're trying to reverse engineer that when you're optimizing it. And you can use tools like Surfer to help you optimize your content and actually use a data-driven approach. But you can also scan pages to see, well, how do you compare to the competitors? Some competitors even have a higher score, but because they've done such a good job on so many different levels, what I usually recommend to my content team is anywhere between 70 and an 89 is a well-optimized piece of content. You can go higher, but you shouldn't do that for too many pages because it gives off unnatural signals of perfection to Google, which you really don't want. You can get hit with over-optimization signals. So this is a well-optimized piece of content. They're within that range that Google's looking for, and they're obviously given the ranking there. You can scroll down, and they've done a good job on internal links. So they've covered all of that. in terms of all the links. They've got some terms that they probably need to use, but it's obviously good enough in terms of what Google's looking for. So they've got some terms that they need to include. And this is a full status, kind of report. Everything else was looking good. Title and meta description, speed, all that stuff is looking good. So overall, they've got a great score. This is a well-optimized piece of content. Now, remember I said that they had the quantity, right? So they're producing all of this content, but all of that content is also well optimized. So they're hitting on that number one ranking factor in Google Topical Authority, both on the quantity side and the quality side. They're literally doing everything right. If you do that for each of your pages, there's absolutely no reason that you shouldn't rank. Now, if you're thinking there are other things like links, you're right, but this piece is one of the most important pieces, and it's got to be covered. It's got to be done. If you do it properly, it sets your site up for everything else to kind of work well in terms of links and YouTube and whatever else you might be doing. Speaking of which, if you look at their backlinks, so naplab.com, just taking a quick look at the referring domains, obviously they've got a lot of great links, New York Times, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of these are well within your reach. So YouTube, they've actually got about 145 do follow links. So YouTube sometimes is no follow, sometimes is do follow. It really depends. But regardless, it hits a deeper part of the algorithm. So it does have a lot of value for your website because it's a ranking signal versus a ranking factor. And like I said, when people click through on those links from a YouTube video to the website, that's a tremendously positive signal for the website. So they have all of these links that Google has picked up from YouTube, 145 do follow links. They've got links from medium.com. This is a free blogging platform that you can definitely write an article on and link back to your site. There's nothing wrong with that. Substack, that's a free platform. You could absolutely get a link on that as well. Yahoo and New York Times, you could do that through a press release, like a cheap press release. Same with Bing and Bloomberg. .edus are a little bit more difficult to get. But it looks like they got it was first picked up in September 2024. Remember, they were growing way before that in the early part of 2023. So this is not the reason they're growing. This is just great to have in terms of backlinks. So you can still grow without that. AOL, Mashable, so on and so forth. PRWeb.com, this is a press release site. So you can check these guys out and get a press release from them. Or you can look at cheaper alternatives as well. If you're wondering about that, go ahead and drop a comment down below and just ask, and I can recommend some cheaper providers, even a free PR press release service as well, if you're interested in that. But basically, their backlinks are pretty good, but definitely not anything that's needed for growth. So basically, they just naturally pick that up. In fact, there's interviews with them where they say, we didn't do any active link building. We just naturally picked these links up. People started linking to us because of our content. So some of these are within your reach for sure, and they will help absolutely. There's also ways to build high authority backlinks and literally get something with a DR of 91 from Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and other places through what's called cloud stacking. And if you're not familiar with that, again, drop a question down below. I'll try and provide more information. I'll also have an upcoming video about how you can build those high authority backlinks. I also teach that to my students in my Skool group, AI Powered SEO. And basically, you don't have to wait around for press releases and for your content to pick up links. You can actually go out and build these high authority, do follow backlinks, perfectly white hat, perfectly fine through these cloud platforms that are hosted on big sites like Amazon and Google and Microsoft. And you can have those pointing to your site literally this week. And there's a way to do that and to kind of replicate this kind of power. So there's multiple ways to go about that. The other thing too, that when you're looking at the backlinks, some things that might not pick up are things like Reddit. So Reddit is a tremendously powerful place to get links. Let me see if I can find, so these are the data sources that a lot of large language models and AIs like ChatGPT and Perplexity use when they're citing sources. And you can see here, Reddit is an important data source. YouTube is also an important data source as well. We actually saw Substack and Medium in their backlinks when we looked at them. But Reddit is another place as well. And if I do a quick search, so this was the YouTube video, right? I actually built a tool called redsearch.com. So I'll leave this link in the description below too. You can literally just enter your keyword, NapLab, search Reddit, and it will literally show up all the threads that include that brand or that keyword or that phrase. So you don't have to go searching for it. And all the ones that are specially indexed in Google, which is the most important, because if Google's finding them, you can rest assured the AIs are finding them as well. And I found this Reddit thread here. This was only 7 months ago, actually. It says, I'm a professional mattress tester. This is literally from the guy who owns the site. I've tested 453 mattresses from 99 different brands. Ask me anything. So basically, he's hosting an Ask Me Anything thread on reddit.com. It's obviously linking to a site as well. He's providing proof, which is part of the requirements for this thread. But it's a simple thing. You take a picture of yourself holding up the place card with the date. It's pretty easy and simple. Kind of goes through his testing process, and there's a lot of engagement on this as well. People are asking questions, what their preferences are, so on and so forth. But this is great because the thread itself is getting a lot of engagement. He's providing proof, that's all great, but he's also providing lots of links back to the site, right? So even if these don't count as do follow links, that doesn't matter. Reddit is an important data source for large language models. Google's obviously got the AI overviews as well now, so Google's coming to this as well. Both of them are seeing him ranked and engaged with on Reddit. And the interesting thing about AIs is you don't actually have to be linked. These links are an extra bonus. Even if you're just mentioned, they're just looking for brand mentions and citations. So if there was a thread that literally said, hey, if you're looking for luxury mattresses, you might want to check out NapLab. They can see the proximity of the keyword to the brand, and that gets picked up. So it's a very important thing, and this is where you can go deeper and kind of look at what these guys are doing and try and replicate it. If you know one site is successful, which you do now with this site, there's a number of ways you can basically do some competitive intelligence and look at what they're doing, which is what I'm trying to help through with this video. Here's what they're doing in terms of content. Here's their production. Here's their optimization. Here's their links. Here's where you can get them. Here's their Reddit. And here's what you can do as well. Or if you don't want to do an Ask Me Anything, and you don't want to provide proof and pictures of yourself or whatever, that's fine. All you've got to do is go into these threads, just like I show with my free tool, which I'll drop in the description below. And maybe you enter luxury mattresses and just find that. If we go, if I can spell luxury mattresses, all of these will pop up, and you can go into these Reddit threads and just mention them. Just say, hey, if you're looking for a luxury mattress for sore backs or whatever, you can go into this thread and literally just drop in a mention of your brand, and that will get picked up by the AI. And you can do that for all of these. Just set yourself a timer and do it once or twice every day. That's perfectly fine. After a while, those signals and those data points start adding up, and you start getting picked up by these AIs as a brand that's mentioned in close proximity to the keywords you're interested in, and the AIs will recognize that. So just wanted to mention that as well. Another neat thing is, if you're wondering, well, how do these guys set up a site like this? I have no idea how to set up that from a technical standpoint. I have no idea how to set up a site. I've never used a WordPress platform or anything like that. If you go to a site called Built With, so builtwith.com, and you just search in the box here the actual website. So you just grab it, naplab.com, and you just search it. It will literally bring up all of the technical aspects of what it's using. So if we kind of scroll down here, I can see that it's using WordPress plugins, so it must be on WordPress. Well, what kind of plugins are they using? Well, it looks like they're using TablePress, Search WP, they're using Yoast. I'd actually recommend Rank Math. If you're using Yoast and you set it up properly, that's perfectly fine. If not, it can cause problems. I actually use Rank Math, but Rank Math or Yoast, those are fine SEO plugins. They're using the Generate Press premium theme. So you can perfectly well use the free theme or the premium theme and use the same theme they're using. These are the kinds of schemas they're using. If you're not familiar with schema, it's advanced code on the back end. So if I go back to the page and I go to my Chrome extension, this is the schema right on the back end of the code. And they've got lots of schema. This is basically Google's preferred language. It's on JSON code. But Google loves to crawl all of this. It helps save them time and money and resources. So it understands what the page is before it comes to the content and has to crawl all of this. You manually add this in the header part of the code. There are tools like Yoast and Rank Math, like I said, that can kind of automate that. But these are the kinds of schemas that they're using. So you could do the same thing. Looks like they're using Cloudflare. They've got YouTube. They're on WordPress, as we said. That's their content management system. So you literally get to peek at everything that they're doing, and you can, use the same technical aspects, set up your site in the same way. If you're not sure, I'm going to have a resource at the end of this where you can see how to set up a site from scratch. And there's also courses and tools and trainings on how to take a site that's brand new, get it to a level where it's growing. And then now that you know about NapLab, you can literally just model what they're doing, like obviously tailor it to your business, to your products or whatever. But you get an example of what something that is actually working and actually grow it from there. And there's ways that you can even build upon the things that I've shown you here today. So just kind of really quickly, I mentioned that the way that they structured their content. So if I scroll down, right, they've obviously got a lot of digestible content. This is actually an AIO rankings cheat sheet. I was doing this 2 years before the AI actually came out. I was recommending this to the content team for optimization, proper, optimization. But this is basically the cheat sheet that I put together based off of what I've found working for AIOs and ChatGPT and getting ranked in Perplexity. These guys are obviously doing great in that regard. But this is literally it right here. Headers, tables, bolding, lists, summaries, FAQs, and schema. All of this is structured data, and Google and the AIs love this because it's easily crawlable, easily understandable, easily digestible in short, summarized chunks, and you've got a lot of it. And it's everything that Google's looking for. AIs use Google as a source. When they crawl it, they see that it's very digestible, easy to understand. They pick it up. And all of a sudden, you start getting cited for all of these phrases in ChatGPT and Perplexity. So they're doing everything that they should be doing, which is fantastic. And they're getting rewarded by Google. Now, as I said, I've worked with clients in all different kinds of areas. I've recommended the same things these guys are doing. They've taken the same processes, the same kind of ideas that I've recommended and really supercharged it. Obviously, they're growing. This is a client, just one page, going after a 6.3K volume. You can see we publish the page. As soon as it gets published, it starts to grow. And eventually it gets to page 1. Same idea as these guys, and you can see their top 10 keywords just exploding. There's not even a lot of fluctuation. It's just an explosion in growth. Now picture this scaled up across pages, just as these guys have done here, right? So how is SEO dead? You can see here, August 2025. This is only a few months ago. So how is SEO dead? Bad SEO is dead. Good SEO is being rewarded. And how do we know that's being rewarded? Well, these guys are having a fantastic monthly traffic volume. They're getting picked up by the AI. They're getting all kinds of citations. And the proof is in the pudding. This works at the page level. And then when you scale that up, it works at the site level. So we've done the same thing. It's called the glossary strategy. That's what I call it. This is one of my clients in the AI software space. We launched it in 2024. Their impressions skyrocketed, their keyword rankings and their AI overviews also skyrocketed. You can see the progression over just, under a year's time. So it's definitely worked for other clients as well. Fantastically proud of that. And it does work. And these guys are doing the exact same thing. So it's just fantastic to see people getting success in SEO. And I wanted to show what an example of that is. So just so you can see this is possible, and this is how you model your content, your site structure, the technical aspects, all that great stuff. Speaking of YouTube, this is a client that I actually utilize my custom YouTube strategy on. It's my 3-pillar system, my Turbo Tube ranking system. You can see here they got almost 25,000 views in the last 90 days, whereas their channel was just doing nothing before. And you can see that heartbeat effect there. Everything was up, views, watch time, subscribers, really, really powerful. So imagine that you do what these guys have done to your site, and then you do the same thing to the YouTube channel that the site is associated with. Remember, we looked at their YouTube video, right? You've got 2 traffic sources. YouTube is still the second largest search engine in the world, and it's driving a ton of traffic. So, this is definitely something to look into as well. We looked at the data sources, so we want to make sure that you're included all of these places. And I'm actually working on a new method that I call the RACS method. And it basically can take any site, no matter how new, even if you have 0 domain authority, 0 links, even if you just started last week, and you can start to grow a site. On the left-hand side, this is just a screen grab from the Google Search Console. of my test site, you can see it exploding in growth. And it was really interesting because I was reading this case study about an e-commerce site that was getting 17,000, traffic every month because it had grown through quality SEO. And this was a case study through the Ahrefs blog. They're a great tool and a great website to kind of go through case studies for. You can see the growth trajectory is almost exactly the same. Now, my test site has only got around 2,000 clicks. That was fine, because it just started growing. But it basically modeled the exact same growth of a B2B e-commerce site that was exploding in growth. So the idea is that you do the quality and the quantity, and then you scale it up from there. Once you get that success, you start to get those, you basically get a dopamine hit. You realize this is possible. You uncover the blueprint that Google is looking for, and now the AIs are looking for, and you do it again and again and again and again. And before you know it, you've built your empire. You built your empire of SEO optimized sites while everybody else is complaining, dooming and glooming, saying SEO is dead. You're ranking and banking. There is a model here that works, and you can see these guys doing fantastically well. So these are the guys here at naplab.com. You can check them out. If you're interested in training in terms of like how to actually get this, I do offer training through a Skool group. You can see here, AI Powered SEO. If you go to skool.com/discovery and you search AI Powered SEO, it should be the second one here. It's the one that says AI Powered SEO, YouTube SEO. But you can just kind of see this image here. You just click on this and you can find the course. I offer a lot of trainings in here. So I talked about how to get a site started off. So this is the ZimWriter 500% website supercharge. I show you how I took a brand new website and literally supercharged it 500% in about 45 days. So if you've been in SEO, you've heard the rumors that Google puts you in a sandbox that you can't grow until about 6 months into your site. That's complete BS, complete and utter myth. I busted that several times. I literally took this site and grew it 500% in 45 days. And I walk you through everything. Where do you get your social citations, your foundational backlinks, like where you start off getting your first couple of backlinks, what's the best WordPress theme for speed, what's the best WordPress plugin, how do you calculate easy to rank for keywords, how do you do keyword clustering, how do you optimize your content using Surfer. So that was basically, let me see if I can go back here. That was basically, this tool that we used here to this was just scanning their content to get a score, but you can actually optimize the content and get real-time feedback. Is what I'm doing correct? Am I doing what Google is looking for? And the score will change based off of how you optimize the content. I walk you through that. I provide you resources. So this is my entire tips and tricks slide deck that I give to my content team. This is exactly how you use Surfer. Every time you optimize a piece of content, I literally walk you through all of the slides. This is what you need to look out for. These are the ways that you can do it. These are the options that you can use. You can optimize for one keyword, several keywords. What's the difference between using this and ChatGPT? How do you import a URL? How do you geo-target for location? All this kind of stuff. How do you use AI content inside of the tool? All that kind of stuff. I literally walk you through it. But that's just one training that I provide. There's a whole entire Reddit SEO strategy. See how I got 10,000 views to a thread and got leads for a client. How do I do my YouTube optimization so that I get those 25,000 views? Custom GPT secrets. So how do you get ChatGPT to literally recommend your links, your sites as a link when people use the GPT and chat with it? KGR keyword method. How do you calculate easy to rank keywords? I'm going to be coming out with a tool that you can use inside of this group, and you'll literally be able to calculate, will I rank for this? Yes or no. Tremendously useful when you're starting off a website. You can use that data against Google. My Power Page process, 250% growth for a software client, literally doubled their conversion rates and grew their pages traffic 250%. How do you use YouTube to spread the word about your product or your content? That glossary method. So how do you get those AI rankings plus the rankings in Google? Surfer content optimization. I'm going to be coming out with a custom tool to analyze ChatGPT's code and see what topics you should be writing about to show up in ChatGPT search. First in the world, nobody else is offering this. You're going to get exclusive access to this. Like I said, my racks method. So how do you grow a brand new site using this new AI SEO method, one prompt to an optimized article. So if you don't want to fiddle around with a tool like Surfer, how do you use something like Claude 4.5 to get an optimized article through one prompt, one click? Parasite SEO platforms. So if you don't have a website, or if your website is far too new, what are some other platforms that you could leverage not only to rank in Google and have multiple page one rankings, but to get backlinks for your site as well, just as an initial batch of backlinks to get things started. Once that initial batch is there, things really start to snowball, but you need those first set of links, and you can get those for free. They're very powerful. Do follow, white hat, perfectly safe. And I kind of walk you through all those platforms and how you can use them. So it's a complete training that's offered inside of this AI Powered SEO. You can see we've got 258 members, lots of great people inside of here. Right now it's $59 a month, but you get access to me. You can ask any questions you want. You can ask me to take a look at your site. You can ask me to take a look at another site. How do we set up a site from start to finish? There's also a great course that I didn't show, but Matt Zimmerman, who's the creator of the ZimWriter tool, I just linked to his course. It's a 10-hour course on how to set up a WordPress site. So he literally walks you through from beginning to end how to set up a site. And then my course takes it from there, and how do you actually get those first initial backlinks? How do you optimize your content? So it's a complete and utter training from start to finish. How do you set up a site that will be growing and growing and growing, straight through these Google updates, just like naplab.com did. Everything is inside here. So for a limited time, it's going to be $59 a month, especially through the holidays. Obviously times are tough for a lot of people. I totally get that. I've been there myself. So this is very, very affordable because you are getting a SEO strategist with loads of experience, doing SEO for a lot of different clients, a lot of different sites, his own products. Usually that's anywhere between $1,500 to $10,000 a month, even sometimes more, depending on the client. But for $59 a month, you get access to all of this training, walk you through it, all the docs, all the resources, plus you get access to me as well. The price will be going up to $197 a month because there's just so much value packed in this. This will literally pay you back 20x if you follow all of the training, go through the steps, and do it piece by piece. That's literally what you got to do, is you just got to do the work. The question of how is solved because I literally gave you a successful site that's doing it today, in this day and age, 2025, in the age of AI, still rocking it with SEO, still ranking and banking. And then I take it one step further, and there's all this training for you as well. So there's no excuses. Make 2026 your year. This is a little bit dramatic, but at the end of the day, in 2026, we want Google on the ropes, struggling to breathe, and looking up at this. That's what we want. And that's the mindset that you've got to have. You have got to have that mindset that you are going to do whatever is necessary to get your site growing, to build a business, build your assets, build the lifestyle you want, and have an empire of basically sites that are doing well for you, because the tools are there. We're living in the age of AI. And now it's just a matter of how you do that. And all of that is offered inside here. By the way, if you're unconvinced, there's literally on the home page a 90-minute free training on how to do YouTube. So when I was showing how to get 25,000 views inside of 6 months to your YouTube channel, I give away all that for free. So just go to the homepage, skool.com/AI Powered SEO/about. You'll get access to this training. You can see here, an hour and 32 minutes, completely free. I give it away to you. Do what you will. If you just want to do the YouTube training and get traffic through YouTube, or just to your YouTube channel, by all means, I'm giving this away for free. It's the same training and the same optimization template that I've used with all my clients. You can use this alone to get traffic back to your site as well. Just paying it forward because I'm truly grateful for what I've been able to do for clients, for myself as well. And the power of SEO can't be understated. When it's done correctly within the right system, there's absolutely no stopping you. And like I said, then you can just scale from there, and you can literally build an empire if you know what you're doing. So hopefully this has been helpful. I know that's a lot, but I really wanted to take the time to go through this site because this is an example of a site that's done really, really well. Now, there's one final thing that I'll say. I actually have a background in data analysis. So I have a background in clinical neuroscience. I did brain imaging analysis in my early 20s, way before I was too young to have been doing that. But I was very interested in how things work, how the brain works, and systems thinking. That's really translated very well into SEO because you've got to think in terms of systems. Google is a system, the AIs are a system. You have to understand those systems to understand how to work with it. And one of the things that has been really powerful over the years is that if you have a system that works, because I've actually published my own research in academic journals, believe it or not, and I've analyzed the brain. If you understand how it works, you can basically understand anything. You can understand Google, you can understand SEO, and the power of that systems thinking is really what's behind a lot of the successes. Now, the problem is that people just teach you principles, or they just teach you step by step, like, here, step one, do this, step two, do this, step three, do this. The problem with that is, and I've done the research in education, is that doesn't really work for somebody who doesn't have experience. If they have experience, that can work. But if you don't have experience, if you're not comfortable with this, if you don't know anything about setting up a site, if you've never done it before, or if you've had sites but they're not successful, the best way to learn is to literally have a full provided example of something that's already successful, and then have somebody who is at that sort of PhD level walk you through, here's how they did it. And that's what I've done here today, which is why I put this video together, because everybody's either talking about doom and gloom, AI, is here, SEO is dead, blah, 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 or they're just like, here's my rankings, here's my traffic, here's the money I made, and here's, optimize your content, get links, or get PR. That's it. That's all they do. But they don't actually walk you through a successful case study of a successful site today that's doing really, really well. And that's why I wanted to do this, because I know the research behind education and how that works in the human brain. And like I said, I've published my own research in clinical neuroscience. You can look it up. I've actually done MRI brain imaging analysis, and I've studied it for years. And then I studied education. How do people learn? This is actually the best way to learn. To have somebody who's done it before, walk you through a successful case study of something that works, and walk you through that example at every single possible level, so that you can see how it works. It's like peeking under the hood, of a car, and seeing how all the different parts work together. Because now what you can do is you can go out and model that for yourself. Model it to your business, tailor it to your products, tailor it to your site. I'm not saying copy and paste. I'm not saying all of this is going to be relevant to everyone, but there are a lot of things here that you can take and be successful with. And that's tremendously powerful. This one video has literally given you the blueprint. If you want to learn more, go ahead and join the mastermind. The link will be in the description for our AI Powered SEO group. Lots of training and resources there as well. If you want to supercharge it, if you want to learn the minute details of how to set up a site and where to get links and how to optimize your content and all that good stuff, all that stuff is important. But I want to give you this example of a site that is absolutely crushing it. It's to remove any doubt that this is possible. Today, in this day and age, this is absolutely possible. AI powered SEO is one of those things that can help you replicate this. If you don't have a content team, if you don't have a PR team, if you don't have money for backlinks, you can absolutely replicate this with AI. That's what I teach in my Skool group. And this is an example of a site that has done it. All you have to do is replicate it with AI, and you can have the same success. And point to your affiliate products, point to your services, your site, your YouTube channel, whatever it is you're promoting, doesn't really matter. You can do this with the proper system. And that's what I've shown you here today. So hopefully this has been actually helpful, more helpful than what you usually see online. And I wanted to give you an example of a site that is successful and walk you through every single piece of it so you could see for yourself what a successful site today is doing and model it for yourself. So I appreciate everyone staying on. If you've stayed on this long, congrats, you deserve a medal. That's a lot of material, I know. But if this has been helpful, drop a comment below. It really helps the algorithm. If you have a question, or if you're wondering about some of the tools that I mentioned, go ahead and drop the comment below. I'll try and answer them. And then, of course, if you want to learn more about this and really want to go into the details and get a full guide on how to do this for yourself, go ahead and join the mastermind, the Skool group. The link is in the description. We'll be happy to have you. And this is what I do all day, every day. This is my passion, SEO. It's not just about making money. I'm passionate about it for several reasons, and it's been good to me. So I really want to pay it forward, especially during the holiday season. Hopefully everyone enjoys their holidays. And if nothing else, this gives you hope that there is a lot to be excited about for 2026. And you absolutely 110% can do it. You can do it. And you will do it next year. If you model this site, if you follow the steps, and if you follow the training and the systems, you absolutely can do it. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. So hopefully that's given you the inspiration, the hope, and the example that you need to buckle down in 2026 and get your sites ranking and banking. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Check out the links in the description. Like, heart, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the YouTube algorithm. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks.